Hello everyone, and welcome to Guided Light Spirit Messages, and welcome to today's video where I will be talking you through all 78 cards of the tarot deck. I hope this video will help you have a greater understanding of tarot, particularly if you'd like to read for yourself. And I find tarot is a great tool to learn yourself better and really give yourself guidance and to empower yourself to live your best life, and I strongly believe that. So that is the aim of this video. So we are going to go through all 78 cards of the tarot deck, and just before I start, it's important to say that tarot cards can be read either upright but also in the reverse. And so if you choose to read tarot cards in reverse, I personally choose to read them upright. That is just something I prefer to do. When I'm reading cards that come out in reverse, I just don't like the energy of those cards, to be totally honest with you. It just does not vibe with me at all. But do what feels right to you. But if you were reading a tarot card in reverse, then it would mean the complete opposite of the basic meaning of the card. Just for you to be aware of that throughout the reading, as I may forget to mention that. So we are going to start off with the first card in tarot. We're going to work our way through the cards, and we're going to start with card 0, which is the Fool. So tarot starts with the Fool card, and tarot is almost like the Fool's journey. So you're beginning with the Fool and you work your way through each card in the tarot deck until you get to the very last card. So I will be going through each card as we go along them, but the first card here is the Fool. And as you can see, card 0, this is ground zero, this is the beginning. And the Fool energy is, and just to let you know as well, we're starting off with major Arcana cards, and we're going to go through each card and then each suit in the deck, and I'll kind of add in little bits as we go along about what each suit means or what it can mean and stuff like that. It's also very important before we actually get into this to know that every card in tarot has a basic meaning. So tarot does have a structure, but it's also important for you to just know the basic meaning as kind of like a base point, as something for you to go on. But over time your intuition will kick in with practice and just patience, really, and that will kind of kick in, and it's about picking up on the energy of that card. It also depends on other cards that come out with it, and it also depends the question you were asking. So even though the card has a basic meaning, it may mean something completely different to you when you're reading for yourself. It depends again on a few different things. So just take the basic meanings as kind of like a guide of a base for you to start off with. But we do start with the Fool, and the Fool energy is all about new beginnings. It's almost this fresh start, this clean slate. It's a very carefree energy, and it's just a fresh, clean, new energy. The Fool here is about to go on a journey, so he's taking a leap of faith. It can sometimes be an immature energy. The Fool kind of is the energy of taking a leap of faith without really thinking about it. And you can see the different parts of this card. So you can see the Fool here, he has his bags packed, he's ready to go on an amazing new journey. He has a rose here in his hand, he's carefree, he's happy, he's just going with the flow. You can see a dog is also here, and dog stands for loyalty, and the dog is kind of his representation of someone who's trying to warn him of the pitfalls ahead. But you can see here the Fool is just about to jump off a cliff, and he can't see it because he's just really in this new, clean, fresh energy. He's just excited for these new beginnings. Then next up we have the Magician, and this is card number 1. And the Magician is all about manifestations, magic. It's an illusionist, someone who may say one thing and do another. The Magician is very smart though, and it's all about law of attraction, manifesting what you want, abundance, making things happen. It's almost the energy of fake it till you make it energy. I always really like the Magician when it comes up in a reading, because it really signifies the magic, the power that we have within ourselves to manifest whatever it is that we like, that we want in our lives. And it all stems from believing in ourselves. And if you see in the card here, there's a lot of growth, there's a lot of flowers, which signifies abundance. Power also, you see the infinity symbol here above his head. The Magician also has his own wand, and here he has a pentacle, a cup, a sword and a wand. All the tools required, all the suits in tarot. So he has everything he needs within him to create whatever life that he wants. So it's really all about him realizing that he is the magic, he brings the power in this situation. It's also important to note, if I haven't mentioned it already, there is no gender in tarot. So even if you choose a card and there's a male on that card, you could be a female and that message could relate to you. You could be taking on the energy of that card, just for you to be aware of that. And then next up we have the High Priestess. I love the High Priestess. So you can see here in the High Priestess card we have the B and J pillars right here at either side of her, and the pillars represent balance. And you can see here we also have the moon in this card, so the moon shape here on her hat, or her crown as I like to call it. And it's all about illusion, it's about secrets, it's about standing in your power. The High Priestess figures people out very quickly. She can almost smell when someone is not being genuine with her, or if they're trying to keep something from her. She is highly intuitive, very, very intelligent, and she just knows when something is off. And this card is all about trusting your intuition and really trusting yourself, more importantly. And I find the High Priestess to be a very powerful energy. She knows exactly what's going on around her. She knows who's been genuine with her and who is not being genuine with her. And that's really all about you realizing that you have that inner guidance within you. You have that intuition. And I always find that if this card came up in a reading for myself, I'd kind of take a look at the two other cards at either side of it, just to get an idea of what it is or what situation I should be using my intuition for, what I should be checking into my intuition for, to really see, am I seeing everything that's going on in my life? Next up we have the Empress, my most favourite card in the whole deck after the Sun card. So I just love this, and this is card number 3. And the Empress is a really, really beautiful energy which is surrounded by Venus, the ruler of love. And this energy is all about the mother. Now again, as I say, there is no gender in tarot. So even if you chose this, you could be a male and you could be just taking on the energy of the Empress. The Empress is sitting in her power. She's a very kind, caring and loving person. The Empress has the best intentions for others. So she's all about abundance, fertility, love, happiness, creating that happiness for others. And the Empress always wants the best for other people, always trying to push them ahead, always trying to support them, guide them, help them in any way she possibly can. And you can see here in the Empress card, she is surrounded by a lot of abundance because she has created that herself from what's inside her. It's a beautiful energy inside and out, and it's almost like what's in the inside, that beautiful, gorgeous energy that she has, she pushes that outwards, and that's exactly what you see when you choose the Empress card. Next up we have the Emperor, and it's important to note that the Empress and the Emperor are counterparts, so that is the male and female version of each card, and these are just like a power couple. That's the best way to describe it. So if you were doing a reading for yourself, and say for instance you were doing a love reading and you pulled both the Empress and the Emperor, that would signify a power couple, a soulmate energy, a counterpart energy. So that would be a very, very good positive sign if you chose both of these cards in a love reading for yourself. So you can see here the Emperor looks very powerful. He looks like he is in control of things. The Emperor sits in his power. He's powerful, confident, authoritative. He's also very fiery and very powerful, but he's not very emotional. And as I was speaking about with the Empress, she is very emotional, very much in her emotions, nurturing, loving, caring. The Emperor is also very caring, but he does not show it. So he's not the type of person to be very in his emotions or feelings. He's more of a doer than a feeler. However, the Emperor is very honest and very upfront, so you know exactly where you stand with the Emperor. He says it as it is. So if you're looking for an honest opinion, the Emperor is the person to get that from. And you can see here too that he's also sitting in his throne. He is sitting in his power. He is in control of this. But you can see lots of red hair around him and also on his cloak. So this stands for a really fiery energy. So if you pull that card in a reading about somebody else, that could just indicate that they're a very fiery person. Someone who's very truthful and honest, but who may find it difficult showing their emotions. So then we move on to the Hierophant. Now the Hierophant is actually the counterpart of the High Priestess. I know it doesn't come after the High Priestess, which can be a little bit confusing, but they are counterparts. They are a power couple. This is, again, will be the same kind of energy as I was speaking about with the Emperor and the Empress, counterparts, soulmate energy, very positive. Two cards to get that if you were doing a love reading for yourself. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about the Hierophant. So the Hierophant, it's very authoritative figure, almost like a religion, a practice, spiritual beliefs, tradition. Is the Hierophant stands for a father figure also, and husband material, someone who values commitment and loyalty and long term. I always associate the Hierophant with marriage, because to me the Hierophant is all about a higher level of commitment. It's about that tradition. It's about doing things in order traditionally. It can also stand for spiritual teachers, priests, people like that, but it can be about religion and spiritual practice, but someone who is in an authoritative figure, someone who stands in their power. Then we move on to the Lovers. So the Lovers card is all about love in any form, in any part of your life. It is a Gemini energy, and the Gemini energy is all about, you can see here the twin energy, two people. So it's about one soul split into two, and you find your person. That's really the energy of it. Now, to be honest, in my own personal belief, I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in the whole idea that we are half and we find our other half. I believe we are all whole, and that we meet lots of different soulmates throughout our lives. But that's my own personal belief, and that's not what this card is about. So it's really all about one soul being split into two, and then you find your person. This card signifies a lot of love, support, equal and mutual love and support. You can see these two people are together, and there's one path ahead of them with this angel here in between them, and it's almost like they go down this path together to live a happily ever after life. This card is also known as the choice card. It was originally a choice card before it was called the Lovers, and so this may also signify, if you pull this in a reading for yourself, that you may have to make a choice when it's related to love or a relationship in your life. This card can signify a match made in heaven, kind of that energy, regardless of the situation you're asking about. So say for instance, if you were asking the cards a question about your career or finances, and the Lovers card came out, this would signify a match made in heaven. So it would be a very positive card for you to get, regardless of what question you are asking about. Next up, we have the Chariot. So the Chariot is all about movement, things moving forward, progressing. It can also relate to traveling, journeys. It's also about balance. You see here we have two sphinxes, as I like to call them, on either side. So it's all about that balance, the yin and the yang, the black and the white, finding that balance. It can also relate to stability, positive energy of things working out, moving forward, moving in the right direction. So it is a really, really positive card, but it is all about movement, actually physically moving in the right direction. Then we also have the Strength cards, and we also have the Infinity symbol here again. As you can see in this card, this lady is taming a lion. She's pushing her hands in the lion's mouth. So it takes a lot of strength, it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that. I don't think I would have the strength or courage to put my physical hands in a lion's mouth, but she is doing this. So the Strength card signifies infinite abundance, feeling that you can overcome any obstacle or difficulty in your life, any fears also that you may have. It's a very kind and gentle but strong energy. So again, as I was speaking about, she is pushing her hands in the lion's mouth, which is a very courageous thing to do. I always find when the Strength card comes up, it just signifies possibly a difficult situation in my life, but it also signifies strength. So it signifies overcoming these challenges and fears, regardless of whatever the situation is, regardless of how difficult or not difficult as it may be. We all face different struggles in life, and sometimes my struggle may not be a struggle to you, and vice versa. So it depends again on the question you're asking, but it signifies great inner strength. Next up we have the Hermit. I love the Hermit. If there was ever a card in tarot to signify me, it would be the Hermit. This is definitely me. So the Hermit is all about analysing. It's all about going within, giving yourself space or taking a break from something. It's about finding your inner guidance. It can also be about seeing things from a different perspective, trying to find your purpose in life, trying to find your light, particularly if you're going through a difficult situation. But it can also be if you're really at an energy or a time in your life where you are doing a lot of self-reflection, you are really going within, you are really analysing your life and how it's going and what's kind of going on for you. So you can be in the Hermit energy at any point in your life, regardless of whether there's anything chaotic going on around you. But again, it's all about going within, giving yourself that time to take a break, slow down, and really go within to really analyse your life or a situation. Then we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is all about things changing. The wheel always turns, and that's the case with the Wheel of Fortune. It's knowing that when this wheel turns this way, and we go through some difficult times in life, it's all about knowing the wheel will keep turning and a positive time in our life will come after it. It is about things changing. It's about abundance coming your way. It is a very positive card. It is a lot of positive energy, and it does signify good luck. So if you pull this card in a reading for yourself, and it depends on the question you asked, but whatever situation you may be asking about, this is a very positive card to get. This is saying that the wheel is turning in your favor, good luck is coming your way, and a lot of abundance. Just a very positive card. So Justice is all about balance. It can also relate to legal issues, fairness. It's also about karma, knowing that what goes around comes back around. And there may also be, this card always can signify some karmic lessons that need to be learned. So it could be situations or people in your life where you may constantly keep going over the same cycle over and over again. So there may be some karmic lessons to be learned if you choose this card. It's also about justice will be served, and it can also signify resolution. So if you were asking the cards about a situation with a legal issue and this card came out, this would relate to fairness. This would relate to justice being served and a resolution in this situation for you. Even if you chose this card in another situation, it is a positive card of resolution, balance, fairness. You see here with the Justice, she also have the scales here, which is Libra energy. She also has her sword. The sword is there to cut out any injustice, to cut out anything that is not fair or just in this situation, whatever situation you may be asking about. So it is a very strong, powerful, positive energy. And then we have the Hanged Man. Now sometimes in tarot, the Hanged Man can be called the Hanged One, but it's the same energy. So the Hanged Man is a very spiritual card. You can see here that he is hanging upside down. I wouldn't recommend anybody does this, but it is a very spiritual card where he is doing this himself. He's willingly hanging himself upside down, and you see there's all light around his head. That is his spiritual enlightenment. That is what he has within himself, that he is awakening or reawakening to kind of look at something from a different perspective. If you see here, he looks very still and very calm as well. So it is a card of stillness, calmness, thinking about things in a different way, gaining a different perspective. It can also relate to meditation and taking some time to yourself. Really, again, almost like the Hermit energy, where you're taking some time for yourself to analyse a situation or to really look at it from a different perspective. Then we have Death. So I think people have this preconception about death in tarot, that this necessarily means somebody in your life is going to die. I can tell you I've been reading tarot for a while now, and this card has never represented somebody dying in my life. So I just want to take that fear away from you. I actually really like the Death card because the Death is all about rebirth. It's about transformation. It's about change, and endings bring new beginnings. So the Death card is about endings. So it could be the ending of certain situations in your life, certain cycles in your life. Again, if you've been going through the same cycles, you're attracting the same types of people, going through the same experiences over and over again. that's knowing that you are going through a transformation and this cycle is coming to an end for you. So I always find if you choose this card for yourself, or it comes up for yourself in a reading, it signifies endings, but know that endings bring new beginnings. You will maybe going through many changes in your life and really going through a transformation, and it is a rebirth. So you are becoming someone much better than who you were, someone who may have learned a lot along the way and has a lot more inner compass, inner guidance, has changed a lot because of the circumstances in your life. So I really like the Death card. So next up we have a Temperance. So Temperance is all about going within. It's also about going with the flow. You see the water here flowing. She's standing in a little pool of water and she's changing water from one cup to the other. So it is about going with the flow. It's also a very healing card. So about healing, balance, patience. I also find it to be a very spiritual thinking card. So it could be spiritually thinking about your own spiritual path, your own spiritual journey. It could also be thinking more about yourself, but in a very positive way. This is not an egotistical card whatsoever, but it's more about giving yourself that extra bit of time, really focusing more on yourself, but in a very positive way. It is a positive card about healing. I also like here that the sun is just about to come up in this card, which always reminds me of brighter days are coming, healing taking place. And again, you have a lot of water in this card, and water in tarot signifies the cup suit, which will be all about your emotions, and it's about letting your emotions flow and doing that healing that you need to do and giving yourself that extra little bit of time for yourself. Then we have the Devil. So the Devil can be a toxic, negative energy. It can be about obsessions, greed, attachments. It can also be about addictions, guilt, possessiveness, or being overindulgent. So it is a negative, toxic energy. If you pull this for yourself in a reading, it could just signify that you may feel tied to a certain person or situation. You may feel that you can't cut these chains. If you see in this card, you have the Devil here, the Devil energy, and you have two people who are chained to the Devil. And it's almost like the Devil has a wand of fire here that he's more than willing to set their tail on fire, to set them on fire. So it's almost like that attachment energy where you feel attached to something that's negative or toxic. I always find sometimes the Devil can also be our own inner thoughts, our own mind, where we may be in that negative energy, just thinking negatively, thinking we cannot see a way out of a situation. So it really depends on the question you're asking and what other cards come up with this card for you in a reading. Then we have the Tower, and I know personally a lot of people are afraid of the Tower energy because it can be very disruptive, but it's not always a negative card to get. So there's no negative or positive in tarot, and I know sometimes even I attach those emotions to certain cards, but know that whatever card comes up for you in a reading, none of it is negative or positive. It's just all a way for you to learn more about yourself and learn more about how you deal with current situations in your life. But the tarot can signify things falling apart, but it's to make space for new things, new energy. I always find with the Tower, it's more about the universe stepping in to shake things up, to get us to look at things clearly in our lives, to get us to make a decision or get us to do something that we may have been putting off. And it can represent unexpected change. But if you see in this card, this Tower here is on fire, and so because this building is on fire, because of this lightning strike, these people are jumping out, because if they didn't jump out of that window to try and escape, they would be in big trouble because the building is on fire. It's that energy. It's the universe being the lightning strike to set your foundations on fire so that things can crumble, so that you can see exactly what it is you have, who you have around you, what is going on in a situation, so that you can rebuild that tower and make it a much stronger foundation. And that's what the Tower energy really signifies. Next up we have the Star, and the Star is all about healing, rejuvenation, finding yourself and finding your peace of mind. It can also represent, because we've a big star here and all little stars, so it can be wishing upon a star, wishes coming through, a very positive card of rebirth and shining brightly. So I just for an instance, this card came out in a reading for me when I was going through a really difficult situation in my life, and I had just gone through it, and I was kind of just coming out of that energy, and the star card came up for me, and it was really, really very positive card, that I had gone through a rebirth, I had gone through a difficult situation, but I was now shining brightly, things were getting better. So it is a very positive card to get, regardless of your situation. I mean, if you chose this card for, say, a work question or career question, be a very positive card to get about rejuvenation, healing, finding yourself, finding it is what you want to do, and wishing upon a star and believing in yourself. Then we have the moon. So the moon is about secrets, it's about things being hidden, things not coming to light. It can also be about confusion, intuition, emotions, cycles and phases, and an emotional energy, really. So you see, when the moon is there, it's almost like the moon lights the path ahead for us. So if the pathway ahead of us was really, really dark, there was no lights, it wasn't lit up in any way, the moon would shine the way for us and light us up. So it's your guidance moving ahead. But you also see here we have animals here, we have wolves howling at the moon. So it can signify things being hidden, secrets not coming to light. And it is a very emotional energy, because the moon cycles are all connected to our emotions. It's also very, very intuitive card, so very intuitive energy, because our intuition is heightened by the moon cycles. So if there was a new moon, a full moon, any kind of different phases with the moon, it can heighten our emotions, but it can also heighten our intuition. So it can be about things being hidden, but can also be about your own energy, your own intuition, and whatever emotional feelings you may be going through when you choose this card. Then we have the sun, and if you've watched any of my tarot readings, you know I always describe the sun as the happiest card in the tarot deck, and it really is. The sun signifies happiness, joy, contentment, positivity, and it is a major yes card if you choose this for yourself in a reading. So whatever situation you may be asking about, if the sun card comes out, it is a major yes to whatever it is you may be asking about. Again, you can see here the joy and positivity. There's a baby here sitting on a white horse. There's lots of sunflowers. It's a very happy, sunny energy, and the big sun here in most of the cards. It's also about this red drape here over the horse, and it just all signifies happiness, joy and contentment. There's nothing really much more I can say about this card, just lots of joy and happiness. Then we have Judgment. The Judgment is all about making a decision. It's about making a judgment call. It can also sometimes represent second chances, so something coming around. But you see here in this card, these people are all naked, by the way, but they're all here in kind of coffins or boxes, whatever way you want to describe them. But they're waiting for this angel to make an announcement, to make a judgment call, to make a decision. So when this card comes up in a reading, it can represent you having to make a judgment call, or you having to make a decision, or could represent someone else in your life. You may be waiting for someone else to make a decision or to make that judgment call. I always find the Judgment, it's a very fair energy, almost like justice. Couldn't think there for a minute. So it's almost like making a judgment call, but sometimes it can represent second chances. So it really depends on how you pick up the energy in that reading for yourself and what other cards you choose with it. Then we move on to the World card, which is the last major arcana card in tarot. There are also 22 major arcana cards, just so you're aware of that. So the World is all about completing a cycle, a phase ending in your life, a new chapter, a new phase, karma being completed. So any karmic lessons or relationships you may have been dealing with, they are now coming to a close. It's also the energy of feeling positive, of completion. It can also represent traveling and really seeing the world. Obviously we have the World card here, but usually it's all about closing down a chapter, closing down a cycle. You've gone full circle with this situation, person, or anything in your life. So it's all about closing that down and welcoming in something new, a new cycle, a new chapter in your life, a new opportunity, a new beginning, new thinking. It's all about the new. But if you got the World card and a few other cards that may represent travel, then it could strongly signify you going on a trip, going on a little breakaway, a holiday, or traveling around the world to see the world. Now we're going to start off with the first suit in tarot, which is the swords, and we're going to start off with the King of Swords. But the swords in general can represent communication, thoughts, and analysis. So all the things that go on in our mind when we're thinking, analysing. But we start off with the King of Swords. So the King of Swords is someone who's very standoffish, who may come across as being very blunt in their power, very authoritative, doesn't care what anybody else thinks, and they're not afraid of anything. Literally not afraid of anything. They will use their sword to cut out anyone or anything that does not serve them, and they will not think twice about it. Now, it's important for you to know also that the people in tarot, as I like to call them, so the kings, queens, knights, they're all court cards, and they could represent you, your energy, or they can represent somebody else in your life or somebody else you're dealing with. So it's important for you to be aware of that and really kind of check into the energy of the cards you're choosing to really decide who each person is in your life. And particularly when you're reading for yourself, you will know who these people are. So as soon as you kind of know the traits of each character or each king, queen, knight, page, whoever it may be, you will know who that person is for you. But the King of Swords is very blunt. They're not someone who's very in their emotions or who shows their emotions very well. They are very blunt, very straight to the point, very authoritative, and they just don't care what anybody else thinks. Now, the next card we have is the Queen of Swords. So again, you have the King and Queen of the same suit. So again, these would be counterparts. So the Queen of Swords again is very similar to the King of Swords. She will cut out any people or things that do not serve them. She has crystal clear clarity, and again I'm saying she, but this could also be a he, as there are no gender in tarot. Crystal clear clarity, very, very good communication, sits in her power, and again is not afraid to express her opinion. And she will also use that sword to cut everything and anything out of her life that does not align with her, that does not vibe with her, is no longer for her highest good, something that's not suiting her and not just in her energy. She will cut it out and not think twice about it. Very cutthroat energy. Then we have the Knight of Swords, and so we're kind of a progression from the King, the Queen to the Knight. So the Knight of Swords will be a little bit more immature than the King, and the Knight of Swords again can signify, because it's a little bit immature, it can represent a younger energy than the King. You can see here also that this Knight is on his horse. That horse is going so fast, it is quick, really, really quick, very fast moving, like lightning speed, and he's ready to rush in, and he has his sword charged, so he means business. So this is someone who does rush in, and they are not afraid at all. You can see in this card, it's like a knight in shining armor. He is not afraid of anything. He's just rushing in and doing what it is that he needs to do. So it can be very quick energy, someone who really rushes into things. Next up after the Knight, we have the Page of Swords. So again, this will be another even more immature energy, or a much younger energy than the Knight. And this card can represent someone coming into your life to communicate with you. Again, as I said, more of an immature energy, so it could be somebody who is very immature, very childish. It's a young, fresh energy, and really the need to want to communicate. So the Page of Swords can also represent, if it comes up, if there is somebody new you've been talking to, it can represent speaking online, communicating online, or communicating in some way through technology. That's also another more up-to-date interpretation of this card. So I just thought I'd add that in, because that may resonate now if you're reading for yourself in this day and age. So it is a fresh, young energy, but it's really all about communication clearly as well, because we have the swords here. Then we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords again is about clarity, cutting things out that do not serve you. It's also about gaining the truth. It can also represent here, because we have these branches, so it can also represent an olive branch being offered to you, and it represents victory. So again, it depends on how you choose this card for yourself, or what question you're asking, and what the situation is. But it is about gaining clarity, gaining the truth, or someone offering you an olive branch, and it does signify victory. So that's a very positive card to get if you got it in a reading, particularly if you were asking about a situation with someone else and you were a little bit confused about it and you didn't have crystal clear clarity at that time. This would represent that that will come to you, you will see the truth, and there is victory in the situation for you. Then we move on to the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is about confusion. It's about feeling stuck or feeling undecided, not knowing what you want, also being at a crossroads in your life, being closed off to someone or something. Because you can see in this card, this lady is sitting on her little stool. She has her eyes blindfolded, and she has the two swords across her, but crossing her heart. So she may be closed off to a situation. She may be just feeling very confused, not knowing what decision she needs to make, or really even understanding how she feels. So she may also be very defensive in that position, really protecting herself or protecting her heart, because she has the swords and her hands across her heart protecting herself. And it's really clouded vision with the Two of Swords as well, not really being able to see a way forward, seeing what it is you're going to do in a situation, or it may not be able to see what's going on around you very clearly. And then we have the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is all about heartbreak, sadness, betrayal, sorrow, grief, depression. Because we have three swords here as well, it can represent a third party situation, something that's very hurtful. So again, it depends on what situation you're asking about. If this is about a love situation, if you have kind of a feeling that you may be in a third party situation and this card comes up, it can signify that. But it's also again important for you to see what other cards come up with this. I don't like getting this card in a reading, to be totally honest with you, because it is not a nice energy. It is a very heavy energy. You can see here there isn't just one sword in the heart, there is three. So it's that extra layer of grief, sorrow, sadness, hurt. But again, it depends what other cards you pick with this, because this will come up in a reading for you, and it could be something from the past that may still be lingering in your life. Or it could be something that really just recently happened for you. So it's important for you to really check in with the energy of the reading and the other cards you choose for it. But it's not a very nice energy to be in. Next up we have the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is all about resting. It's about retreating. You can see here this figure in this card is lying down. They're hanging up their swords. They're just taking a little break from a situation or from things in their life. And they're really regaining their strength, and they're doing that by taking some time out, by resting, recuperating, healing, taking things a little bit slower, taking a break, and just really recuperating. Then we have the Five of Swords. So the Five of Swords represents conflict. You may be battling with other people. You can see here in this card, this man is battling with these other people, but the battle has ended. But you can see he still has won. He has won the swords, but he's still looking back, still wanting to fight with them, still wanting to have that conflict. But they have retreated. They are walking away. They are done with this person or situation. So again, this could be winning at all cost, because this man is still wanting to fight even though he has won this battle. And the fives in tarot represent change. So you have the Five of Swords here. So if you are in a situation like this and you choose this card, it can represent that this situation will change in some way. So it can be a positive card, even though the initial message with the card, the general message of the card, may not be something you want to hear. But know that because it's the five, it represents change. So this situation has the possibility to change. And this could be your energy, or it could be somebody else's energy. Again, when you're reading for yourself, you know yourself better than anyone. So you will know if this is your energy or someone you may be dealing with. But it is positive because this situation can change. Then we have the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is about moving away emotionally from a situation or a person. You can see here that this person here in this boat has she's hunched over, she's like a little bit lost, a little bit in despair. But all these swords here can represent her baggage. So it's almost like she's taking that baggage with her. It doesn't mean that she's ready to confront that baggage or ready to deal with that baggage, but she's bringing that with her on her journey while she's moving away from a situation or a person. It can also represent trying to move to calmer shores. You can see here the water here is a little bit rocky, but over here where she's trying to get to, it is a lot calmer, it's a lot more peaceful. So it can represent trying to move to calmer shores, moving to a calmer period in your life. But it may also represent still holding on to something or someone, because it's almost like this baggage here is what's really holding her back. So it can represent moving away from a personal situation, but still holding on to that at the same time. You know, you're wanting to move to a calmer period of your life, but there may be some other residual things that you may need to deal with when you get to that calmer place. Then we have the Seven of Swords. So the Seven of Swords can represent excuse me, deceit, a liar, a cheater, a stealer. It can represent betrayal, somebody doing something behind somebody else's back, somebody trying to get away with something, or trying to run away from a situation. So I really find the Seven of Swords trying to run away from a situation is more about self-sabotage. Sometimes us not really seeing what's going on clearly in our lives, or not really wanting to deal with it, or not really wanting to face up to it, and so we do kind of sabotage ourselves in some way. But again, the Seven of Swords is famously known as a liar, a cheater, a stealer, betrayal, somebody trying to get away with something. You can see here this person has stolen these swords and they are running away, they are getting away with it, but they're still looking behind as if to say, nah, look what I did. So it's that kind of an energy. A liar, a cheater, stealer, a betrayer really is the energy of the Seven of Swords. And again, that will really, it depends how you choose this card and in what situation and what question you're asking. I know I'm repeating that a lot, but it's important because you may get that card and think, oh my God, what does that mean? Is somebody not being honest with me? It can also be about your own energy, so just bear that in mind. Then we have the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is feeling trapped, feeling stuck, not being able to see a way out of a situation. It could also be self-imposed restrictions that we put upon ourselves, telling ourselves we can't do something, we're not able to do something, we're not capable, not believing in ourselves, and so we start to believe that negative energy that we are telling ourselves. It can also be about confusion and not being able to see things clearly. If you see in this card, this lady is bound by swords all around her. She is tied up, she's blindfolded, and it's all this gunky energy down here that isn't very nice. And so she feels she's really stuck, really trapped in a difficult situation. She can't see a way out of it. She can't see the positives. But it's also important for her to know she can unfree herself. She can untie these bounds around her. She can take one of those swords and do that for herself. She can take off her blindfold and see there is a path ahead. Yes, it may not be very nice, but there is a way out. There is a way for her to get out of this situation. Then we have the Nine of Swords. So you can see clearly in this card that this lady is awake at night. She's not been able to sleep. She has her head in her hand. She's kind of bowed over in despair. You can see all these swords hanging over her, 9 swords, which is really preventing her from sleeping. So it is a card of not being able to sleep. It's a card of overthinking, of having anxiety, exhaustion, worrying, and over-analysing. So I would always describe this card as being very much up in your head, overthinking about a situation, thinking about it constantly. It may be, again, it could signify depression, anxiety, and mental illness, but it can also represent a situation in your life that has you awake at night, that has you overthinking, that has you worrying, that has given you some anxiety about it. So it's that kind of an energy where you just can't sleep, where I would describe it as your head is wrecked. That's probably a very Limerick thing to say, but that's the kind of energy of it, all up in your head, not being able to see through the fog or to see through all the thoughts that you have going on in your mind. And then we move on to the 10 of Swords. So the 10 in tarot represents endings. It's something that's completely dead, done, over with, something that has ended. But you can see in this card that this man is lying face down and he has 10 swords in his back. So it is the energy of feeling stabbed in the back, feeling betrayed. It's like this dead energy, cycles coming to an end, and it's really about knowing that this situation can't hurt you any longer. There is no 11 of Swords, there's just the 10 of Swords, and that's it. So this situation cannot hurt you any longer. So that will be the positive aspect of this card. So if you did get that for yourself, know that that difficult situation you have been going through or are going through is coming to an end for you, or has completely ended, because again, as I said, there's no 11 of Swords. So it's knowing that whatever made you feel stabbed in the back, or made you feel hurt, or you feel you cannot carry on in a situation, it has come to an end. So that's the positive side of it. So now we're going to move on to the Cups energy, and the Cups in tarot is all about our emotions, our feelings, our desires, all of that emotional energy. So the King of Cups is someone who is openly emotional but stands in their power with that. They are totally okay with being overly emotional, and that's okay with them, and that's how they like to be. It's someone who's very emotionally vulnerable but open to it. They have a lot of love and support to give, very strong emotional love and support that they like to give to others. They love supporting others, loving other people. And someone who's very emotionally mature, someone who's very even though they're overly emotional, they are very okay with that. They wear their heart on their sleeve. You can see here that the King of Cups is someone who also stands in their power, even though they're very emotional. They're sitting on their throne, nothing is shaking them, nothing is stirring them. They're very emotional. They just have a lot of love and support and a lot of emotional things that they can offer to people, and they like to do that. So next card we have is the Queen of Cups. So again, we have the King and Queen of Cups, so these would also be counterparts. And the Queen of Cups is very similar to the King of Cups. So she's very emotionally vulnerable. She's also highly intuitive. She thinks a lot. Emotionally invested in people, places and things, very open and balanced in her emotions, very loving and also very empathetic. Because she's very loving, very nurturing, very open to her emotions, she does relate to other people a lot. So she's very empathetic. Possibly could also represent that you are an empath if you choose this card for yourself, and very intuitive, very in tune with your emotions, and very loving and caring towards other people. Then we have the Knight of Cups. So again, the Knight of Cups, this can signify someone coming towards you to offer you love. You can see here this horse is galloping along, not at a very fast pace, may I add, but not going extremely slow either. But they do have a cup of love that they would like to offer you, so it can signify that. Also, you can see here in this horse, it's almost like this horse is almost like deciding not to move on. It's almost like they're trying to think, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to take that next step? So it could also represent someone who wants to offer you a cup of love, but they may be a little bit hesitant about that, because this horse is not like the Knight of Swords where you saw them galloping in, rushing in, going at the speed of light. This is a much slower paced energy. So just see how that resonates if you choose this card. It's also about someone who wants to invest in you emotionally, and it can also represent just things coming towards you. It could relate to your career and finances. It could relate to any situation in your life, depending when this card comes up for you. But it's things that are coming towards you that are emotionally satisfying. So something that will be very tied in with your emotions, something that will make you feel very happy or very contented. So it's really all about trying to decide how that fits into your reading for you, if it comes up for you. Then we have the Page of Cups. Excuse me, I'm just going to take a little drink of water. So the Page of Cups again can signify a very immature energy. Again, it's not like the King, who is very mature. It could represent somebody you may be dealing with who may be a little bit younger, or someone who can be an immature energy. But the Page of Cups is all about a good luck offering, and it's good luck here because we have the fish in the cup, so that signifies a good luck offering coming your way. It could be something that's already manifested or has already started. So it could be something that you've already brought into your life, something you've already manifested into your life, or something that has already begun, and this is almost like this new good luck offering in relation to that. To me, the Page of Cups can also represent an apology, so somebody coming towards you to apologise for something. Now, some people may disagree with that, and I wasn't going to put in my own personal opinions in these cards, but I really felt the need to do that with the Page of Cups, because I feel like that may help you kind of understand the energy of the Page of Cups a little bit more, and that may resonate for you in a situation, and then you know that meaning will resonate for you. Next up, we have the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is about ever-flowing, everlasting love, emotional satisfaction. It's also a lucky energy, and it is a cup of love. You can see here we have a dove here. We also have lots of water energy here, and it's like this hand is coming from the universe offering you this new offering of love. This cup is overflowing with love, with emotion, with joy. So it is a really, really good luck card to get a long-lasting, everlasting love. So if you had just met someone new, for instance, and you were choosing, this card came out for you in a reading for yourself, this would be a very positive omen for that relationship. Again, it can signify in any situation in your life. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a love situation. It's all about love coming into your life regardless of what that situation may be. Then we have the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups stands for mutual love, equal love, and mutual commitment. You can see two people here offering each other their cup of love. So they're both giving equally, both giving mutually. The Two of Cups can also be a soulmate card. So depending on what other cards you get in your reading and you're asking about love, then this would definitely signify a good match, something that's mutual, that's equal, that's balanced, and possibly a soulmate energy. Then we have the Three of Cups. So the Three of Cups is about celebration. You can see these three ladies here, and they all have their cups in the air, celebrating, enjoying their time together. So it can signify celebrations, it could be birthdays, it could be social gatherings, it could be that you could choose this card and maybe a few days later you had a plan to meet up with your friends. It could be that simple, or it could be something major, a major celebration in your life. It can also represent reunions of coming together, or people coming back into our lives but reuniting in a very joyful energy. So it can represent gatherings, a happy energy, joyful. It is a very happy card to get. It can also signify possible karmic lessons that need to be learned from a third person. So again, we were talking about the tree of, I can't remember what I was talking about now. Oh, Three of Swords. Sorry, I cannot think today. So we were talking about the Three of Swords, where we had the three swords piercing the heart, and I said that could represent a third party situation. So again, if you were choosing three cards for yourself and the three cards had three people in it, or it was the three of each suit or anything like that, then that would highly represent a third party situation. But with the Three of Cups, it's more about there may be people in your life who you may need to learn some karmic lessons from them, but it could be a third person, you know. So it may not be you and your person, but it could be somebody else in your life or their life who's kind of getting involved, someone who really grates on your nerves. It could be any situation like that. So there may be lessons there for you or them to be learned from that situation. So it's really about you trying to interpret how this card resonates for you, but it is generally overall a very positive card of celebration and joy. Then we have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups, this is someone being offered something, but they're either not open to it, or they're too focused on the past or the things that haven't worked out in the past. So you can see here, this man is sitting here under the tree contemplating. He doesn't look to be very happy to me. And you see that there is something being offered to him in this cup, but he can't see it or is not open to it because he's focused on these 3 cups here of things that did not work out. They could be things that are not working out now in his current energy, or things that haven't worked out in the past. So it's almost like he can't see or is not open to this new opportunity being offered to him because his mind is clouded by things that did not work out for him. It's almost like he's preoccupied, like he's not seeing what's going on around him. And this can also signify options and opportunities coming your way also, and to be open to them and to be aware of your surroundings and things that are coming your way. Then we have the 5 of Cups, and the 5 of Cups, you can see here this man is hunched over, his head is down. You can see he has 2 full cups here behind him and he's 3 empty cups in front of him, but he's looking ahead and not behind. So he's looking at the negatives here. So this can be all about self-pity. It can be wallowing in sadness, regret, focusing on the negative, as I said. Again, because this is 5, and 5s in tarot signify change. So this could signify a change in this situation for this person, that they will be able to see the positives. They won't be focusing so much on the sadness and the grief. This card can be about grief also, so you may be dealing with grief when you choose this card for yourself, and it's really a very upset energy because you're just focusing on the negatives, the things that didn't work out. But if this man opened his eyes and turned around, he would see that he has 2 full cups behind him, but he can't see the positives at the moment because he's focusing on the negatives. But again, 5 signifies change, so this could all change for this person. Then we have the 6 of Cups, and the first thing to take note of the 6 of Cups, as I spoke about, the cups is all about water. It's all about water, energy, emotions, feelings, and every Cups card has water in the cups apart from the 6 of Cups. There's no water here, just flowers, so no water. So it's important to kind of take how that resonates for you when you're choosing cards for yourself. The 6 of Cups can be a soulmate card, so it can represent the soulmate energy. It can also represent a possible immature energy, dealing with someone who is a little bit childish. It can also be very playful, flirtatious energy. It could represent someone from your past returning. For me, the 6 of Cups does signify that. In my readings anyway, it definitely does. Someone coming back from the past, possible reunion with possible soulmate, that kind of an energy. It could be someone you have lots of happy memories with, possible long history with this person, because this card is all about a grandchild and a grandmother. That's the kind of energy with the 6 of Cups. So it's someone you've known a very long time, going back to have someone you've long happy memories with. They may not all be happy, but you have a long standing history with this person. This can also signify, if you were not pulling this card in a love situation, it could represent if you were asking about how you move forward in your career and you got this card. This could represent something you've done a long time or something you have done in the past. Could also represent something that brings you a lot of joy, again, because we have the Cups energy here. So it's all about really tapping into the energy of the reading and really seeing how it resonates for you. Then we have the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups is all about choice. It's all about opportunity. You can see here there are many cups here. They're not filled with water again, but filled with different ideas, different thoughts, different options. It's also a card of daydreaming, of dreaming, of illusion, of fantasy, of seeing things through rose-tinted glasses. So it's almost like if you chose this card, if you were going through a breakup, for instance, and you chose this card and you were wondering, like, you still miss this person so much, and if this card came up from you, it could represent that yes, you do miss this person really, really much, and you very much, and you may be very hurt, but there may be an energy with this card that you may be looking at that situation from rose-tinted glasses, and from that point of view where you're not seeing all the things that went wrong or the things that happened why you broke up. Do you know, that kind of an energy where you may be just seeing things through rose-tinted glasses. It can also be an energy of having a lot on your mind or having many choices in front of you and not really being able to see clearly what it is you want to do or what choice you want to make. But again, it can represent having many options, but it may be an energy also where you are daydreaming about all of these things you'd like to come in for you, but you may not be taking any action towards that. Then we have the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups, you can see in this card, this person is walking away from these cups. They are walking away emotionally, at least, from a situation or a person. So it is an energy of walking away. It's also an energy of self-discovery. This person could be walking away to find themselves, to find their purpose, to find how they feel, check in with their emotions, or find out what they want from their life. It's almost like this energy is turning your back on an emotional situation and focusing more on yourself. You see in this card, this person is on their own, so they're focusing more on themselves, making the decision themselves to walk away from something in order to find something better. So it's that kind of an energy. Then we have the Nine of Cups. I love this card. So you can see here in this card, this man is very happy with himself. He seems to be, he's a smile on his face. He just seems to be very, very happy with himself. And he has these 9 cups behind him, which is all about happy emotions, contentment, joy. This card is all about wishing or being happy with things in your life and being very grateful for where you are in life, what you have in life. This man is very grateful for these 9 cups of emotion and joy that he has around him. It's also a wish fulfillment card. So it's almost like making a wish with the 9 of Cups for all those things that you want to come into your life, wishing for them. So it can signify if you had manifested something or you're hoping and wishing for something to come in for you and you chose this card, it could represent that your wish is being fulfilled. It really depends again on how you feel, what card you're picking, what question you're asking, but it is a very happy, positive card. Then we have the second best happy positive card after the Sun card, which is the 10 of Cups. Now you can see on this card there are 10 of Cups in this rainbow, which signifies a lot of happiness, joy, hope, contentment. And you can also see there is a couple here with 2 children. So that could be someone's 10 of Cups. It could be getting married, buying a home, settling down, having children. But not everybody wants those. So it's important for you to really relate the 10 of Cups to your situation and what it is that would make you happy. What it is that would make you feel like you have your 10 of Cups. My 10 of Cups and your 10 of Cups could be 2 completely different things. But it will resonate for you in whatever way you choose that for your situation, because everybody is different. But the 10 of Cups is all about emotional happiness, emotional contentment. It's all about abundance, emotional satisfaction, a joyful, happy energy. And also because this is a 10, so it could represent a completion of something. So again, it is happiness, joy. It is a very positive card to get. It's just about you seeing what is your 10 of Cups. You know, so if you choose this card in a reading for yourself, a very, very positive, happy outcome, a happy completion here with happy energy. So we're now going to move on to the Wands energy, and we're going to start off with the King of Wands. And Wands in general in tarot represent creativity, passion or drive, very fiery energy. And the King of Wands is a very passionate, a very sexual energy, may I add. Someone who's very creative, who stands in their power, has lots of ideas, again lots of fire energy and spark as well. You can see here with all the reds and the oranges, it's all about creativity, passion, drive, lots of fire and spark. The King of Wands is also someone who's willing to push for things, lots of determination and will, attracts a lot of people, someone who's very magnetic, can push people forward, really a leader, but an action taker. So that's the King of Wands energy, and again there is no gender in tarot for you to be aware of that. But the King of Wands is someone who gets things done. He's an action taker. He pushes people forward. So a great leader, a leader of a team or anything to do with creativity, passion, ideas. He's great at pushing people on, pushing people forward out of their comfort zones, and a really big action taker. Now the next card we have is the Queen of Wands. So again, these are counterparts. And the Queen of Wands is actually a little bit similar to the King of Wands as well. So the Queen of Wands energy then is very magnetic, again very passionate. The Queen of Wands knows exactly what she likes and doesn't like. She's also very intuitive, also has a lot of good ideas. She's very nurturing, very caring. She's also very physically attractive, but she also has as much inner beauty as she does outer beauty. so that's very important. We also have the black cat here, which represents good luck, and you can see the Queen of Wands is surrounded by sunflowers, so she's very nurturing, very caring, very abundant, so very similar to the King of Wands, but a lot more nurturing, caring energy with the Queen of Wands. Then we have the Knight of Wands, and you can see here with the Knight of Wands, this knight is rushing in, so this can signify someone in your life who does like to rush into things, also a very sexual energy. The Knight of Wands is very flirtatious. The Knight of Wands is someone who can come in very quickly to your life but can disappear just as fast. Now the Knight of Wands is someone who has a lot of talk but also backs that up with action, but there is no commitment there. So someone who can flitter in and out of your life, someone who can come charging into your life, creating a big storm, being very flirtatious, and someone you want to be around, and then just as things are starting to progress, they leg it. They're gone. It's that kind of an energy. So someone who really comes rushing in, talks a big talk, backs that up with action until they're done and they're kind of bored with that situation, and then they're gone. So if that is someone in your life, you need to be careful of that energy. Then we have the Page of Wands. So the Page of Wands is someone who has very creative ideas, creative projects. The Page of Wands is also about being proud of a project. They're proud of their accomplishments, their achievements. They're also an action taker, very goal orientated, and again a very fiery nature, very fiery energy. Then we have the Ace of Wands, and the Ace of Wands again could be an olive branch being offered. That's what this card always reminds me of, and that could signify that for you. It's also about a new positive offer coming your way, new ideas, new passion, something you may have waited for or have always wanted. And it can also signify action being taken in a situation or towards a goal or endeavour, but very strong positive new energy also. Then we have the Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is all about options. It's about expansion, about growth. It could be weighing up your options or having to make a decision. It could also be about looking at different ideas and taking some form of action. You can see here this person in the card has two wands, so they're holding one. There's one kind of to the side or two behind them, but they also have the world in their hands. So it's looking at things, knowing the world is your oyster, expansion, growth, broadening your horizons. And then we have the Three of Wands, and the Three of Wands, you can see here he does have three wands. So he's one here, one behind him, and one to the side, and he's holding this one. So it could signify having a few different options to choose from. But the Three of Wands can also signify a waiting energy. So waiting for something or someone, waiting for something to come in or something to happen. It could also be really at a standstill, or you might be waiting for the right time to do something or the right time to take some action towards something. But it can signify taking that action and moving towards that. It depends again on the other cards that you choose with it. But it can represent like a waiting period, a waiting time where you may feel at a standstill with a situation in your life. Next up we have the Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands is about foundation. It can also be about marriage. You see you have a married couple here with the castle behind them, and it's really just a foundation, marriage, reunions, coming together, soulmate, twin flame energy, because you see here we have two pillars at either side, which can be 1111, so they could be a specific number for you, particularly if you choose this card. A soulmate energy, twin flame energy. If you don't know what a twin flame energy is, you can Google that. I just don't have the time right now to go into that. I will do another video on those energies at a later date. But the Four of Wands can also signify stability, security, positive energy, commitment. So really positive card, really celebratory card. And you see here again we have the married couple here celebrating that they have finally gotten married, so very positive energy. So then we have the Five of Wands. Now again, this is 5, so 5 represents a change in tarot. So the Five of Wands is all about confusion. You can see in this card there's a lot of chaos also. So chaos, confusion. conflict, but this can be conflict either with yourself or with other people, or really within yourself, or you may just be having that inner struggle with yourself within a situation, or could be other people. You can also see here with the Five of Wands that people are like getting ready to fight. They're not exactly fighting with each other, they're almost training for that fight, you know. So that could be the energy that you're in when you choose this card for yourself also. And then we have the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands, you can see here it's victory and success. To me, you can see here it's almost like he's coming back from war. It's like victory after hardship. He's riding in victorious on his white horse, and everybody around him is cheering for him. So it is victory, it is success. It's also a card of potential, moving towards success also. Again, as I said, success after hardship. So it is a positive energy of things getting better, of celebration, of happiness. So you may be in a difficult situation, or you may feel a little bit of conflict or chaos, and you're wondering, when is this ever going to change for me? And then you might pick this card for you in a reading. So this is a major positive success of moving towards success if you haven't already. And then we move on to the Seven of Wands, and the Seven of Wands is all about challenges, it's about obstacles, also a defensive energy. You can see here this man is very, very defensive, so he is protecting himself, he's protecting where he is, all that he has and all that he's gone through. So it is a defensive energy, but it's also trying to fight through obstacles. So you may be trying to fight through these little obstacles or blockages that may be in your way. I know that you have it within you to do that, but you have those wands up around you to protect yourself. And then we move on to the Eight of Wands, and the Eight of Wands is primarily a card of communication. So it's all about quick communication, but a lot of it as well. So it's a back and forth kind of energy with communication. So it's almost like you messaging somebody, they messaging you back, you messaging them, they message you back. It's that kind of a back and forth communication energy. It's also about ideas and people coming towards you, fast moving energy again. It can represent a spark or getting on well with someone, so it could be romantic or otherwise. It's also the energy of not being able to, or not wanting to stop talking to them. So you almost know that energy when you meet someone new and you have those butterflies, or you're excited about speaking to them, of getting to know them better. So it can represent that initial spark with someone, that initial getting to know someone, and it's almost like you love speaking to this person and you don't want to, or you really don't know how you're going to stop talking to them. So it's that kind of constant back and forth communication, but very exciting energy as well. And then we have the Nine of Wands. You can see this man is standing, he's all his wands up behind him, and he's one in front of him. So the Nine of Wands is like a wandering energy. It's contemplative. He could be waiting for something, he could be waiting to make the right decision. He is being a little bit defensive, as I said, with all these wands up around him. A very protective energy, and he could be weighing up his options here also. So that's kind of the Nine of Wands energy. I also feel the Nine of Wands energy, sometimes it can be, depending on the other cards you get, so it can also be an energy of just when you feel like giving up on something, you get this spark of an idea of inspiration of how to move forward. But the Nine of Wands energy is a contemplative energy, really trying to weigh things up, waiting for the right decision to come to you, waiting to see what you're going to do, or what somebody else may be doing also. And then we finish off the wands with the Ten of Wands. You can see in this card, this person is holding a very heavy burden. These 10 wands are really difficult for him to carry. So the Ten of Wands is a feeling of feeling burdened, of feeling like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders, a very heavy energy, feeling you have to keep going when you feel you can't. And because it's a 10, the Ten of Wands are all about conclusion, and it could possibly be the energy of you dropping that burden, because eventually you can see he is going to have to drop this. It's near the ground. He cannot keep carrying this heavy burden on his shoulders much longer. He really has to drop that burden and release it from himself, because it's just too heavy for him to carry. But again, the 10 signify conclusion, endings, so he is going to have to drop that, you know. So you could choose this in a reading for yourself. and you may be struggling with a situation or a person, or you may just not being able to see a way forward. You just feel a heavy energy upon you, like you are carrying a heavy burden around with you. So this could signify that you need to drop that burden and you need to release that from your shoulders. So now we're going to move on to the last suit in tarot, which is the Wands, and we're going to, is the Pentacles. We've done the Wands. We're on to the Pentacles now, and we're going to start with the King of Pentacles. But the Pentacles in general in tarot is all about the material. It's about practicality. It's about resources. So typically the Pentacles can relate to your foundation, to your finances, to your home, the practical stuff that we have in our life. So practicality, resources, that kind of an energy. And we do start with the King of Pentacles. So the King of Pentacles is a very strong father figure. Now again, you could be female when you pick this card, but it is generally a father figure, someone who likes marriage and commitment, someone who's very affectionate, someone who's very kind, caring, loving, very mature as well. They have a lot of stability and security, and they have a lot of that to give to others. So again, you could be asking about somebody that you're getting married to, and this card may come up. That would be a lovely card to get, to let you know that your person wants to be a father figure, someone who likes marriage and commitment, who's very affectionate, kind, caring, loving towards you, someone who has a lot of stability and security they want to give to you. If that is what you were looking for, then that will be great news for you to hear. So that's the energy of the King of Pentacles. Now next up we have the Queen of Pentacles. So again, these would be counterparts. And the Queen of Pentacles is very proud of her achievements. She's also very financially secure. She's a great achiever, but she is very, very, very humble. Not someone to really boast about all the things she's achieved, but she is a great achiever too, but very humble about it. And because the King of Pentacles is a father energy, the Queen of Pentacles is more of a mother energy, very mature and very, very down to earth. A lot of security, stability, very nurturing energy, very similar to the Empress energy actually, I find. So that is the Queen of Pentacles. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight, you can see here, the Knight is very, 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 very slow. The Knight of Pentacles is a really, really slow energy. So that's the first thing to really note about the Knight of Pentacles. But the Knight of Pentacles is someone who thinks long term, who likes to take things really slowly, but its potential is just slow potential. And it does offer commitment too, but it's just you can see here in this card, I mean, this horse is at a standstill. This horse is not moving at all. Not like the other knights in tarot where they move a little bit quicker. The Knight of Cups, yes, moves a little bit slower, but the Knight of Pentacles is at a standstill. So there is potential, there is security, there is stability with this energy, but it comes in really slowly. I can't emphasize the slow part enough. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. So the Page of Pentacles then can represent an offer coming your way. It's really, the best way to describe it is a starting point. So the beginning of something, but it does signify luck, being grounded, and sensibility. So sensible decisions, sensible offers, being very sensible in your thought process or your actions or things you have around you and your resources. So it's all that energy. Again, this could be another immature energy because we have the Page. It's just important for you to know that, but it's at the beginning stages of something. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. This is a resource coming your way. You can see here, this is a gift from the universe, and you see you have a little pathway here, a new pathway opening up for you, like a new doorway, a new avenue for you to go in your life. Could possibly be something completely new. But again, it's just a new pathway open up for you. Can also signify commitment, abundance, stability. The Pentacles are all about stability and security. So again, you could be going for a new job or something, and you might get this card in your reading. And if you did, that would be a really good card to get, because it means there is a new pathway opening for you. You are going down a new journey. There's commitment, there is abundance, stability and security in this card. So it's really, really positive one to get. And again, that can relate to any situation in your life. It doesn't necessarily have to be career or finances. You could get that card if we're asking about love, which would be a really good card of stability and abundance with that energy. And then we have the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is really, you can see here, he's juggling. So it could be about juggling things in your life, balance, prioritizing. That could be your time, your finances, your resources, your commitment to people, your job. It could be any situation in your life, but it's all about juggling. It's about balance, it's about prioritizing. So you may get this card if you feel like you're just burnt out. If you feel like you're going to end up burnt out, if you feel like you've just been working very hard, you may get this card, and this may be guidance to really prioritize your time, not to be doing too much, not to be juggling too much at the one time, and really just kind of focus down on the things you need to do and give yourself more time. That could be an interpretation of that energy. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, and the Three of Pentacles is all about teamwork. It's also about hard work, collaboration, and doing a good job, like work done well and building that foundation. But the Three of Pentacles also has the energy of doing things as a team, not for your own benefit or not for financial gain. It's more so to help other people out, to do a good job because you want to do a good job and not because you're getting something back in return. So it is teamwork. You can see here, this man wouldn't be able to do his job without these two other people, and they're really praising him for that, because it's almost like he's up on a pedestal here, but they're working together as a team, collaboration. So you could reference that into your life in any way. You could be trying to build a foundation with your partner, maybe trying to build a home, maybe trying to get a work project off the ground. It could be related in any situation in your life, but it's all about teamwork, collaboration, and hard work, but work well done. And then we have the Four of Pentacles, and the Four of Pentacles, you can see here, he's holding on to these Four Pentacles. So this is the energy of holding on really tightly for dear life, not wanting to let go. It can also represent restriction or control. So again, this could be holding on to a situation or a person. It could be holding on to your money. When you choose this card, it may be that you have some financial issues or you're worried about money in some way. It could be just holding on tightly to an idea of something also, or someone or something, and you just do not want to let it go. You're holding on for dear life. Then we move on to the Five of Pentacles, and remember, fives in tarot are all about change. So whatever the energy of this card may be, no, there is the potential for things to change in this situation. But the Five of Pentacles is about feeling left out in the cold. You can see these two people are out in the snow, in the cold. They look like they don't have the right clothing, so they may be homeless. They just feel like they're not involved, they're not included. So it's a feeling of being left out, not appreciated, not wanted, not respected enough. So it's just feeling left out, like you're feeling left out in the cold. But again, because it's five, there is a potential for this situation to change. Then we have the Six of Pentacles, and the Six of Pentacles, you can see here we have the scales again, like we had in Justice, and this is all about balance. This is about give and take, a give and take energy, an equal energy, and an equal balance. So again, this could represent in any area of your life, you know, it's just a give and take. Are you getting back what you're putting into a situation? Are you giving too much and not getting that back? Is somebody just breadcrumbing you and not giving you exactly what you want? It depends on, again, your question, and again, the other cards that come with it. Then we move on to the Seven of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles is the energy of really asking yourself, is something worth it? Is something worth the time, energy and effort that you've put into it? Like, you've put in a lot of hard work here, you've done a really good job, but there's still that one pentacle where you're like, oh, should I just invest everything in this one pentacle and move on from this energy and move towards something new? Really asking yourself, is something worth it? It's also an energy of improvement, thinking, is all this hard work worth it? Like, is the juice worth the squeeze here with this energy? Thinking also about your next step. Like, you've done a good job, so now you're thinking, okay, I've done that, now what's next? So it's thinking about the next thing, thinking about what's your next step, what are you next going to focus on? So it could be you really wanted something, you put a lot of time and effort into it, you put all the work in you had to do, and you achieved it, and now you're thinking about, well, what am I going to do next? It's that kind of an energy. Then we move on to the Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work. It's also about hard work paying off, and being stable. You can see here this craftsman has done a lot of work, and he has all his work on display while he's still working on his next project. So he has done a very, very good job. It's also about recognition for hard work, for your hard work paying off, and being very stable in that energy and being very secure with the work that you have done and the work that you're putting out there, maybe the time and energy you're giving to people or to projects or to other things in your life. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is a very abundant energy, very independent energy. It can sometimes represent a single energy, somebody who is single, but know that it doesn't always have to represent that, because you can be very independent, very secure within yourself, and still in a loving, committed relationship, but it can represent a single energy. This energy is really all about loving yourself and loving your life and how things are going for you, how you're feeling about yourself, your self-love, your happiness, and not really caring what other people think. Being secure and happy within yourself, to be happy with you and not really concerned about what other people think of you, but very independent, successful, happy energy. And then our last card, we went through them all, guys, is the Ten of Pentacles. And again, remember, tens represent conclusions in tarot, and the Ten of Pentacles is all about abundance, but in all areas of your life. The Ten of Pentacles is exactly what you want. It's abundance in every single area of your life, having everything in balance. It's also about happiness, security, stability, and being grounded. You can see here there's a family in this card, there's pets, there's dogs, there's a home, there's that loving connection. So it's every area of your life being in balance and doing really well in life and having everything that you want. This is the card that you want to get. Like, we'd all want this, we'd all hope for this. I always get this card in my life, and I'll be honest with you, I don't necessarily have all my shit together, to be totally honest with you. I don't, but I feel it's more about abundance coming your way. It's more about that happiness, that security, stability, and being grounded with who you are and where you are in life, and being happy and grateful for the blessings that come your way. So that is what we went through, guys. We went through all 78 of the tarot cards. If you stuck through this video to the very end, well done. And thank you so much for sticking by to watch the whole video. I really do hope that this video will help you if you are beginning your tarot journey, or if you would like to learn more about the tarot cards. I hope this will give you some insight into the basic meaning of the cards. Please also bear in mind, these are just basic meanings of the cards. And again, with practice and with time and patience and a little bit of effort on your part, your intuition will kick in a lot stronger, and you will pick up the energy of the cards, and you'll pick up more messages. And sometimes the basic meanings of the cards may not be necessarily what you're feeling intuitively, but it's all about listening to your intuition. I know that there's a lot of information in this reading, in this video, and there is a lot of information to take in. So don't be feeling overwhelmed, because I know it can be very overwhelming. This video is just really created for anyone who would like to know a little more understanding about tarot cards. And again, if you only take in a little bit of information from this video, that is absolutely fine. That is what you're supposed to be dealing with at the moment, and just go with what it is you were drawn to do and what it is that feels right for you. That's very, very important. So I hope that this has helped you, and this video will always be there for you to come back at a later date if you wish to. If you did enjoy this video, please do like it for me, or you can send me a little comment to let me know how you found the video and stuff like that. And if you would like to, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to my channel. And if you'd like to get notified each time I upload a new reading or video, then please just make sure you press that bell. Thank you so much, guys, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. Bye.